By now, everyone has seen Nadal's interview in which he came out of the closet as a huge salty loser. Judging by the comments on social media, this was an eye-opener for many of his fans and casual sports viewers. But what if I told you that this is not the first time that Nadal showed his true face? That for years, he has underhandedly tainted Djokovic's image while simultaneously elevating his own, using carefully crafted insidious statements. By looking at some of his past comments about Novak, I stumbled upon a pattern that Nadal uses whenever he talks about his greatest rival. In this video, I will show you the simple, three-step method that Nadal uses to smear Novak and get away with it. This is Rafael Nadal's Salty Loser's Guide to Badmouthing Djokovic. Let's get into it. We begin with Nadal's infamous interview from last week, in which he basically said that Djokovic won more slams than him only because he cared about the record more than Nadal. Besides learning that Nadal is suffering from an excruciating case of butt hurt, a closer look at his comments also reveals his three-step method for disparaging Novak. Here's what he said.
No estoy frustrado por una simple razón, porque yo creo que dentro de mis posibilidades he hecho todo lo posible para que las cosas me fueran lo mejor posible.
This is step 1 in Nadal's method, to speak well of himself. In this case, he is pushing the idea that he doesn't worry about records and just tries to do his best. It's a talking point that he uses often because Rafa loves to remind us how humble he is. According to himself, Nadal is the world's most modest tennis player. And now, step 2.
No, con 22 Grand Slam no se puede vivir frustrado, eso ya te lo digo yo, o sea, es imposible.
Sí que se puede.
¿De verdad?
Yo, por ejemplo, yo creo que Novak sí que en ese sentido lo vive de una manera más intensa que la que lo he vivido yo. ¿Sabes? Para él yo creo que sí que es una frustración, a lo mejor hubiera sido una frustración más grande no conseguirlo.
Step 2 is to speak badly of Novak. He paints Novak as a record chaser, who would have been frustrated if he didn't achieve his goal. Notice also how Nadal creates a contrast between himself, a noble sportsman who is only focused on doing his best, and Djokovic, a man greedy for accolades. This is one of the recurring themes in Nadal's propaganda war against Novak. And finally, step 3.
Y a lo mejor por eso lo ha conseguido.
Step 3 is to cover his tracks. There are many ways to do this, but the one that Nadal usually uses is to turn the insult into a backhanded compliment. In this instance, he says that maybe it's precisely Djokovic's frustration that helped him achieve the record. Nadal always follows up an insult with an exculpatory statement to give himself plausible deniability, which his army of pathetic apologists then uses to defend him. How many comments have you read in the last few days from Nadal fans who claim that he was misunderstood, that he was just complimenting Novak? But Nadal wasn't misunderstood. This was not the first time he spoke like this about Novak and the Grand Slam race. In 2021, Nadal called Novak obsessed with records. He said, quote, "Of course I want to win more slams, but Novak is more obsessed about this, more focused. Not in a negative way, but it's not my approach to my tennis career. I have a healthy ambition. I just keep going, keep doing what I'm doing, and just try to put myself in a position to keep enjoying the tour. And of course, try to achieve as much as possible." Notice that all the same elements are present in this statement. He associates a negative word with Novak, obsessed, and once again explains that he is better than that. He creates a contrast between the obsessed Djokovic and himself, a guy with a healthy ambition, who only does his thing, enjoys the tour, and just tries to put himself in a position to achieve as much as possible, that's all. Novak obsesses, Nadal strives to achieve. And of course, in a typical Nadal fashion, after he badmouths Djokovic, he sprinkles a correction on top of it. Novak is obsessed, but not in a negative way. Just enough to cover his tracks. I only have one question. Why is he even talking about Novak? The question that Nadal was answering had nothing to do with Djokovic. Here's another example from last week's interview where Nadal uses his three-step method.
Ha llevado la ambición al máximo, ¿no? Yo creo que he sido una persona ambiciosa, pero una ambición sana. Que me ha permitido también ver las cosas con perspectiva, ¿sabes? O no estar frustrado, no cabrearme más de la cuenta en la pista cuando las cosas no iban bien.
And there you have it, Rafael Nadal's 3-step method for badmouthing Djokovic. If you have any other examples, let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you soon.